We have important questions about policies like the government policies, the rules and plans that involve complicated programs. And these programs are like mixtures of different ways to do things. People who make decisions about these policies want to know not just if the program is good or not, but also if it's better than the other program.
Mm.
It's like comparing two ice cream flavors to see which one tastes better, and this helps them make smarter choices about which programs to use. So here's a sample scenario explaining evaluating programs that combine several treatment options. So policymakers aim to improve school attendance rates. They have two main strategies in mind. So these are the two interventions. First is yung demand side interventions. So this one refers to providing cash transfers to the families. And then yung second intervention naman is yung tinatawag nating supply side interventions. So this intervention is offering greater incentives for our teachers. However, they are unsure whether these interventions work better individually or when combined. Meaning to say, if you want more kids to go to school, you can try two different things, these two interventions. One is giving money to families so they can afford to send their kids to school. So this is the cash transfer idea. And then the other intervention is encouraging teachers to teach better. So that's the incentives idea. Now we will figure out which one is better, and we also want to see if using both interventions together works than if they than kung isa-isa sila. So it's than kung isa-isa sila. So these are the key questions for policy makers. One, does the program work better than the alternatives? Second, are different interventions, yung na-mention na intervention na cash transfer and then incentives, are complementary when combined? So in simple terms, when we ask if things are complementary, we're wondering if they work better when used together, when we use these interventions together. Next is what is the optimal level of service or treatment duration for cost effectiveness. So, ang keyword lang dito sa question na ito is yung treatment duration. So, for example, if we're teaching people new skills in a job training program, we want to know how long it should be. So, is a 6-month program better at helping people find jobs than those people with a 3-month program? So that's the treatment duration for cost effectiveness. And then the last question there is how can an existing program be modified for greater effectiveness? So sometimes people who make decisions about programs want to make an existing program work better. It's like trying to make a car run better, so they test out different ways to see which one works best. Next slide. Okay. Impact evaluations for multifaceted programs help answer questions such as what is the impact of one treatment compared to another? And then when we talk about the impact of one treatment compared to another, we're trying to figure out here which one is better at helping or changing something. For example, if we want to know what helps children's thinking and learning more, teaching their parents how to be better caregivers or giving them healthier food. We want to compare these two things. We want to compare these two interventions to see which one has a bigger effect on how kids think and learn. So here we are trying to find out which treatment is more effective for a particular goal. So aside from comparative impact, meron din tayong tinatawag na joint impact. So the question is the combined impact of two treatments greater than the sum of their individual impact? So as far as I know, itong concept na ito is called synergism. So when we talk about the joint impact of two treatments, we're trying to see if using both treatments together has a bigger effect compared to using each treatment. So, kung mas maganda ba yung effect if ipagsama ba yung two treatments or mas maganda ba yung effect if hiwalay-hiwalay itong dalawang treatment. For instance, we have a program where we teach parents to be better caregivers or ito yung parenting intervention. And another program where we provide kids with healthier food. Ito yung nutrition intervention. We want to know if the combined effect of using both of these programs is greater, lesser, or the same as adding up the effects of each program by itself. So we're trying to understand here if using both treatments together gives us a bigger overall result. And last but not the least is the intensity impact. The question here is what is the additional impact? What is the additional impact of a higher intensity treatment compared to a lower intensity treatment? So itong higher intensity dito is meaning mas frequent yung pag-visit. For example, yung social worker is mas frequent yung pag-visit niya sa subject. And then yung lower intensity treatment naman is hindi frequent yung pag-visit niya. Kunyari, once a month lang. And then yung higher intensity naman, we can consider it as higher intensity if always siya nag-visit. So when we talk about the additional impact of a higher intensity treatment compared to a lower intensity treatment, we're trying to understand how much more effective the more intense treatment is. So for example, if we have a group of children who are not developing well and we want to help them, we can compare two ways of helping them. One way is to have a social worker visit them at home every 2 weeks. So since this is every 2 weeks, we can consider this as higher intensity treatment. And the other way naman is to have the social worker visit them la, visit them only once a month. So we can consider this as lower intensity treatment since once a month lang compared to the higher intensity treatment which is every 2 weeks. So we want to know how much better the more frequent visits are at improving the children's cognitive development compared to less frequent visits of the social worker. We're trying to figure out here if the higher intensity treatment has a bigger positive effect. So to continue with our slides, we will be discussing how to design impact evaluations for two types of multifaceted programs. So one's with multi-levels of the same treatment and the other one is one's with multiple treatments. First, evaluating program with varying treatment levels. Evaluating the impact of a program with different treatment levels is relatively straightforward. If you want to see how effective a program is with two levels of treatment, yung high level natin na bi-weekly and a low level naman yung once a month na visit, we also want to understand how much the extra visits matter for results. So aside from yung 2 visits na high na twice a week and then once a month, we also want to understand how much the extra visits matters for the results. So ito yung additional. To do this, we can use a lottery system to decide who gets the high level treatment, who gets the low level treatment, and then who doesn't get any treatment. So itong who doesn't get any treatment is our comparison group. Ayan. So focus na lang tayo sa uh, image. Yeah. So in this process, just like when you use random selection to make things fair, there are three main steps for evaluating programs with varying treatment levels. So yung first dyan, yung pinaka nasa left is yung first step. So first step, you figure out who can be part of your program. So this is the group of people or things that are eligible. Next is yung step 2. Sa step 2, you randomly choose a smaller group from the eligible group from your step 1. So this is your step 2. This smaller group is called the evaluation sample. So yung evaluation sample natin, kinukuha natin from our step 1, from our eligible group. And then for step 3, ayan, we will randomly divide this evaluation sample into 3 groups. Since sa step 2, meron na tayong evaluation sample, we will divide them into 3 groups. Yung first group is yung high-level treatment. And second is yung low-level treatment. And then yung third is yung comparison group natin which doesn't get any treatment. So yun yung 3. So in this way, we can fairly test how the different treatments affect the outcomes and understand which one works best. So since nakapagbuo na tayo ng treatment group and then yung comparison group, ito yung 3 groups na mabubuo. The approach creates 3 distinct groups. So when we use randomized assignment to set up different treatment levels, we create these 3 separate groups. Yung first is yung group A. So our group A is the comparison group, meaning they don't receive any treatment. And then our group B gets the low level of treatment. And then our group C receives the high level of treatment. So the great thing about randomized assignment is that it makes sure these 3 groups are very similar in the beginning. So we can figure out the impact of each level of treatment like this. So to see how much the high level of treatment helps, to see how much the high level treatment helps, we will be comparing the group C to the group A. Ayan. Again, for high level of treatment, we will be comparing the group C to group A. And to understand naman the effect of low level of treatment, we will be comparing the group B to the group A. And then if we want to know if the high level is better than our low level, we will be comparing the average results of our group B and group C. So this same idea works if you have more than 2 treatments. So of course, kung mas dadagdag tayo ng treatment, mas marami pang mabubuong group. So since ito, may dalawang treatment level lang tayo, may 3 group lang na mabubuo, yung high, low, and then our comparison group. Okay. Next is evaluating multiple interventions. So typically, policymakers prefer to understand the pros and cons of different interventions rather than just knowing the impact of a single intervention. So this approach really helps the decision makers make informed decisions about which approach is the most effective or efficient in achieving their goals. It's like comparing different cars from different cars before buying one, as you want to know which car suits your needs and budget best. Similarly, comparing different interventions allows policymakers to select the most suitable and effective solutions for challenges they aim to address. So these are the necessary. Here's a sample scenario explaining evaluation with multiple intervention. So if you want to evaluate the impact of a program that includes two different intervention, let's say yung giving cash to the families if their children go to school, and then providing a free bus transportation to school. So we'd probably want to understand how each this intervention works on its own. The process is quite similar to when you test the different levels of a CGL treatment. So instead of randomly assigning people to high or low levels of one treatment and a comparison group, you can randomly assign them to a group that receives cash transfer and then a group that gets free bus transportation and comparison group. So yung kanina is ang focus natin is on the high intensity level, low intensity level. For evaluating multiple interventions naman, ito yung example natin, cash transfer and then free bus transportation and then a comparison group yung mga group natin. So these are the process involves multiple lotteries for evaluation of multiple intervention. So number one is define the eligible population, and then next is create an evaluation sample by randomly selecting eligible units. And step 3, randomly assigning units in the evaluation sample to treatment groups for different interventions. So we will discuss each step. For step 1, when you are using randomized assignment for a program with two intervention, it's quite similar to the process for a program with just one intervention. But there's an extra step because we are dealing with two different things. And the main difference is that you need to conduct several separate lotteries. So sa ating multiple intervention, marami tayong ginagawang lotteries. Marami tayong ginagawa na bunot-bunot in assigning our participants. So this yung tawag natin dito is yung crossover design or cross-cutting design, wherein we need to conduct several separate lotteries instead of just one. So the first step is we will be identifying the group of people or things that are eligible for the program. Okay, next. In step 2, we randomly select a smaller group from the eligible population to create evaluation sample. Ayan. So, same with the previous methods, we will get the evaluation sample from our eligible group in our step 1. Step 3. So in step 3, we will randomly assign some of the evaluation sample to a treatment group and others to a comparison group. That's why may dalawang group dyan. So yung isang group dyan is your treatment group and then yung isa is comparison group. So yung evaluation sample, i-randomly assign natin sa mga groups na ito. And then the few next steps is a second lottery. We will use a second lottery to randomly assign a subset of treatment group to receive the second intervention. So some people get the first intervention and some of them also get the second one. So from the treatment groups from the previous slides, kukuha naman tayo doon through lottery, then i-assign natin sa another group for second intervention. And then, meron din 'di ba tayong comparison group sa previous slide? We will also do another lottery to assign a subset and assign them to the to another group for second intervention. So this process allows us to study the impact of each intervention individually as well as the combined impact of both intervention. So it helps us understand which approach, whether it's one intervention or both, works best in achieving our goals. Ayan. So because of the different treatment groups na nabuo and then yung comparison group, ito yung mga ito yung four different groups na nabuo. So I will be explaining this one sa next slide. Ayan. So on the upper left side is your group A, on the upper right side is your group B, and then on the lower left is your group C, and then your uh, group D is on the lower right. So when we use randomized assignment for a program with two interventions, we create these four different groups. So our group A gets both interventions. So merong logo dyan. Sorry. Itong dollar dito is our cash transfer, and then yung bus transportation is ito yung free bus transportation na intervention. So in our group A, they get both interventions, yung free bus transportation and then yung cash transfer. And then for group B naman, they receive the first intervention but not the second. So yung B is they receive only the cash transfer. And then yung group C naman natin, they did not receive the second intervention but gets the first one, which is yung free bus transportation. And then yung group D naman dito is they did not receive either the first or second intervention, the free bus transportation and the cash transfer. So this group is considered as our pure comparison group. So the power of randomized assignment is that it ensures that these four groups are very similar in the beginning, and this allows us to measure the impact of each intervention independently. So number one, to understand the effect of first intervention, we will be comparing our group B, ayan yung dollar lang yung na-receive, with the comparison group. And then to measure the impact of the second intervention, we will be comparing the outcomes of our group C, yung mga naka-receive lang ng free bus transportation, and then we will compare them with group D, which is our comparison group. And then by comparing the outcomes of group A with those of group B, we can determine the impact of the second intervention on those who have already received the first one. Likewise, comparing the outcomes of group A versus group C, we will be able to measure the impact of the first intervention on those who have already received the second intervention. So this approach provides a comprehensive understanding of how each intervention works individually and in combination, helping us more informed decisions about the program's effectiveness. Okay. Through randomized assignment, these groups become comparable, enabling the estimation of the impact of each intervention separately. Moreover, it allows assessing the incremental impact of the second intervention when the first one is already in place. Meaning to say, using a randomized assignment makes these groups similar to each other in the beginning, so we can measure the impact of each intervention on its own. It also lets us see how much extra benefit the second intervention provides when the first one is already being used. In other words, randomized assignment help us compare the different groups fairly so we can figure out how effective each intervention is by itself. It also helps us see if adding the second intervention makes a bigger difference when the first one is already happening. This way, we can understand the benefits of each intervention and how they work together to improve the situation. Practical challenges. Okay. Practical challenges. Evaluating programs that involve many different interventions or treatment levels can be quite challenging. The more treatments you have, the more complicated the evaluation becomes. So pag mas marami yung interventions involved and then the treatment levels na involved, uh, mas complicated. The more treatments you have, the more complication the evaluation becomes. To reliably identify any meaningful differences between these groups, you might need a larger sample size. So in other words, you may have to study more people, more subjects, more samples, more units to make sure your results are statistically significant and not just due to chance. So here's an illustration explaining that kung mas marami tayong intervention and treatment, the more it becomes complex, the more it becomes difficult. Evaluating programs with more than one or two interventions or treatments can be quite challenging. So this complexity affects both the evaluation process and how the program itself is run. So as you add more treatments, the design of the evaluation becomes significantly more complex and complex and complex, and it gets more complicated for the program to operate smoothly. So this complexity grows rapidly with the number of treatment options, making it harder to manage and analyze your data. Okay? So, ayan, pag may two interventions ka, so pag may two interventions ka, mayroon kang four groups na ma-produce. Pag meron kang three interventions, meron kang eight groups na ma-produce. Pag four interventions naman, meron kang four intervention, meron kang 16 groups, and so on and so forth. So when you're evaluating one intervention, uh, you just need two groups, one group that receives the treatment and another group that doesn't receive the treatment or our comparison group. However, However, if you want to evaluate the impact of two interventions, meron kang four groups. So yung three treatment groups and then yung one comparison group. Now, if you want to evaluate three interventions and consider all possible combinations among them, um, meron kang eight groups. So, in conclusion, multifaceted programs are critical in addressing complex societal challenges. Properly designed impact evaluations, whether based on randomized assignment or other methods provide insights into the effectiveness, cost efficiency, and interactions of these programs. By understanding their impact and interactions, policymakers can make informed decisions about the most effective strategies for improving societal outcomes. Meaning to say, multifaceted programs are important for dealing with big, really big social problems. When we use well-planned studies to check how these programs work, we can learn a lot about how effective, how cost-friendly, and how interconnected they are. So this helps people who make decisions, such as our government officials, choose the best way to make society better because they know what works and how different parts of a program affect each other. So it's like using a map to find the best route to your destination. You make smarter choices when you understand the roads and how they connect. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Okay, thank you as well, Kevin. So, andyan pa ba kayo? So, ano no, this is especially applicable sa Philippines kay poverty alleviation programs. Daghan kaayo no. I mean, a number of agencies are providing different interventions para sa mga mahihirap, 'di ba? For example, yung 4Ps, but aside from 4Ps, 'di ba daghan pa no ang DA na punay programa kasi may mga farmers din naman na recipient ng 4Ps. Tapos ang DA meron din yung mga programa para sa mga farmers. Um, Meron pa yung DAR, 'di ba? May mga NGOs pa talaga na tumutulong sa mga farmers. So sa impact evaluation kasi we need to analyze attribution kanang uh, syempre no, sa dami ng tinatanggap na program ng isang recipient, so di na to ma-attribute lang ang nahitabo sa iya ha. For example, sa conditional cash transfer lang. So marami pang factors that influence the situation. So those programs na na-enjoy, lahat 'yon may impact to the condition of the beneficiaries. So yun no, kasi maraming mga hindi lang talaga isa eh, marami so always multifaceted. Pero siguro sa education, kung ano lang kanang sa mga remedial classes ba na or tutorial classes, reading, mga ganyan, siguro madali yan. Pero pag sa mga poverty alleviation programs addressing, even sa kanang mga programs gani for crime solution, di ba? Daghan pud kay na siya mga community based na pa ng mga uh, kana i-appeal ang community sa investigation and many more. Tapos kanang sa mga I just learned kanang sa Board of Parole and Provision ba na or Parole and Probation Office. Napo din na sila yung mga may mga ano kasi may mga convicted sa mga crimes na simple crimes like theft. Sa dami kasi ng tao sa kulungan, di din na sila ginakulong gyud. Community based na tas ano sila kanang may mga ano pa din no, transformation initiatives pa rin na binibigay. So kasama na diyan yung livelihood mga ganyan. So marami din silang tinatanggap. So di nato ma-attribute ang transformation sa isa ka thief for example sa katulang programa sa Parole and Probation Office kay they're also receiving man different interventions from other providers as well. So kato no kinahanglan uh, sound ato ang comparison. Kagaya ng basic sample kanina ni ni Kevin is na nasa ano din no, nasa book natin. I-compare mo yung may dalawang tinanggap sa may isang tinanggap at yung may isang tinanggap sa wala talagang tinanggap. So hindi din pwedeng i-compare ang walang tinanggap sa maraming tinanggap kasi ano na yun eh, wala nang point of comparison. Kasi sa dami ng tinanggap niya mga interventions, parang obvious na ano, 'di ba? Magiging ma-overestimate yung impact. So, yun, no? So, very complex. So, yung grouping, importante yung grouping. And of course, statistics talaga, mahalaga na yung adequacy of samples is one way talaga na ma-ensure natin, ma-address natin yung biases, mga sa ni mga methodical challenges kay ano yun no randomize and then increase gid ang samples, daghan gid dapat ang samples. And dapat ano siya no, probability sampling ang gamitin. Basta quantity as much as possible, probability sampling. Hindi pwede yung parang sa quali na pipiliin mo lang yung sinong available or kung sino yung papayag, di ba parang ganun. So dapat talaga randomized siya para maano yung ma-address yung mga biases. So yeah, tama yun no, in conclusion, the more interventions, the more it is difficult to evaluate impact. Kasi hindi, ang mahirap kasi dun yung attribution. So, kaya mga regression analysis din tayo, no? After analyzing kasi, ang impact evaluation naman is ano lang, no? Absolute difference practically. Pero pwede man po nato dungagan atong analysis. Like, for example, which among the interventions better influence the atong impact, no? So, pwede ta mag linear regression analysis as long as na atong mga scores. So, pag may data ka, maraming pwedeng gawin, no? Maraming mga statistical tools na pwedeng gawin. I mean, pwedeng i-apply to analyze its statistical significance. So, any question? Yes? Go ahead, Jonathan.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, as I observe with our reference manual, ma'am, and other books, very few, di po very few, murag seldom kayo ang statistics na mention. Nag-mention lang siya maggamit og statistics, pero wala gyud siya discussion on how is it been done sa statistics. Like, kani mag-test ta kung matching, kani mag-ANOVA ta, kay kuan siya, difference in difference. Is it
Actually,
possible,
absolute
ma'am, na
difference yun siya. Absolute difference gyud ang sa impact evaluation manggod. Dili siya
so,
significant
oh,
difference
so,
imong tanawon. But you can
so
naman,
is
you
it
can
possible?
choose if you want to pangdagdag sa parang reliability ng or accuracy or reliability, especially sa concern ng Pilipinas no na very complex, maraming mga methodical challenges. Pwede naman din gamitan ng t-test. Pero ang basic
Okay.
requirement kasi ng method is absolute difference lang yun. Kagaya
Mm,
nga ng in-explain ko last time, 'di ba? Sa example sa Progressa, katong conditional cash transfer sa Latin America, na naman gud sila giset daan. Supposedly ana man gud na siya. Kaya lang sa Philippines, murag ang atong mga programa kay di bitaw klaro ang target, no? For example, kung agricultural production na, dapat na magud siya klaro na target na the program intends to increase production or rice production by 10%. So na kay cut off ay na kay daan ba? Qualifier. But in the case of the Philippines, I think pwede natin gamitan ng significant difference kay when it comes to decision making, wala magutay ka ng sa na-observe ko sa mga programs, wala magutay ka ng klaro bitaw nga pareha tong sa progresa na an impact of at least $20 kung kana ilang makitaan, they will ang basis na siya to decide na i-further ang palawakin pa ang program or i-continue and then palawakin pa to include more recipients. Sa atua dili kaayo ingon ana walay kana bang like what I said earlier, for example, if it's about rice production, dapat manggudunta sa log frame approach nakaset na daan no, like for example increase the rice production of farmers by 10 or 20%. So kung na siya impact sa rice production nga 20%, let's say sa income niya, sa production or kung ano mang mga measurable indicators na nandun sa results chain, kato na ang basis. So, dili na kinahanglan nga i-test pa nimo kung significant pa ning difference. Kaya na naman kay point of reference sa imong decision making. But, in the absence of a specific point of reference sa program, pwede nato gamitan og kuan test of difference. So if we're
Kaya
kung samples lang
thank
man
you.
gyud ani no, so t-test pwede naman.
Sige, ma'am. Ang akong next question is relation sa akong first question, ma'am, is sa among i-prepare karon, ma'am, nga paper nga chapter 1, 2, 3, a proposal, I mean, dili gyud i-highlight namo ang mga tools sa stat. Tama pa ako, ma'am?
Yes, yes. Evaluation tool gyud ang atong ma-highlight and then ma-explain pod nimo nganong kato imong gamiton. Nganong kato nga tool imong gamiton. Kaya na, di ba, ang mga, each of the evaluation tools, na siya yung mga assumptions na, for example, sa randomized controlled trials, naman yun siya strict assumption sa randomization. So, if naanay mga, even gamay nga kanang non-compliance, dili naman applicable ang randomized assignment. So, pwede ka mag-instrumental variable or other methods. Yeah, not statistics. Pero klaro yun ha, I hope ang impact evaluation method is absolute difference magud atong tan-awon, but again, if a program wala siya klaro nga kana bitong point of reference for decision making, pwede nato siya gamitan o like t-test para makita nato na statistically significant ang increase sa consumption or production with the intervention as a result of the intervention. So, yun, pwede natin siya gamitan. Yes, again, yes, Jonathan, go ahead. Yes, Jonathan, go ahead. Hello, madungog ba ko?
Nawala lang siguro siya, Doc.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am. No, ma'am, na-miss. Pala na ako, ma'am, natuplok lang. Sorry. Thank you kay ma'am sa point. Mabuhay.
Okay. So, nabatay questions or basing na tayo gusto i-share?
So, Doc, si Joanne,
Yes, go ahead.
i-clarify lang nako ang katong para sa to ang proposals. Pwede man pod nga ongoing, existing,
ongoing, existing.
ongoing nga projects karon.
Yeah.
Ang ako ang himuon ko ang Doc na. Sige, thank you, Doc.
Pwede kaayo. Ang
Okay,
importante
magamit ni good na, Doc.
ay ang tool. Why did we
Tinudo na nato ni Doc. Ibali, while producing for this as a requirement, pwede na ihinahinay og push ba sa office ba nga, let's do this. Dali nga nilang kagamay ba nga, bas hindi ay mahimo siyang kuan. Murag opener nga makita nila nga there must really be a tool nga dapat gamiton gid nato for mga projects nga implemented like this para magkaroon og meaningful results ang mga interventions nga gihimo. Thank you, Doc.
Yeah. Kami gani sa among extension, actually ang accreditation, ang CHED, kasi nagpapa-accredit tayo with AACOP, Accrediting Agency for Chartered Colleges and Universities of the Philippines. So yun yung accrediting agency for state universities and colleges kaysa mga private naman pod. Actually, dili ba ang gusto lang nila makita sa mga extension as kasi mandate yan ng SUCs, no, kanang miskag na lang na 5 ka pamilya nga kana bitong success stories or pila ba na, dili magud padaghanay pod kay syempre limited laman among budget, no. So for example, naami projects sa cacao farmers pero dili ko involved, it's called Pataba. So kasi di ba natay anong tawag ng program ng DA, Cacao Double Up nung 2020 kay as rationale sa program kay ang demand sa cacao for chocolate man na siya, no, input sa chocolate making. So taas ang demand sa cacao and ang cacao kay isa siya sa ato ang competitive advantage. Naga-grow magid og cacao, so mo to gitarget sa DA na mag cacao double up. So in relation to that, ni support pud ang USEP. So lang yun mga selected farmers lang ng cacao, especially those not necessarily the poorest but those who are willing kay naman pud giuban katulagi ang problema magud ka ng, di ba, we discuss about compliance. Pwede kasi na yung treatment group kanang dili na mula hutay ba binigyan intervention, may training, at kung ano-ano pang mga inputs ang binigay, mga assistance na binigay. Pero marami nga di ba, may mga ano pang mga issues pa na yung may binigyan ng seedlings, hindi naman tinanim, mga ganon. So, syempre, sinisiguro namin noon na ng USEP na kanang mukuplay gyud. So katong naman gyud di man gyud na maiwasan no ang mga parts sa supposedly beneficiaries dili gyud mo comply kato lagi maybe na experience po na ninyo no yun may mga seedlings na hindi na natanim mga ganyan ba so dili na siya ni comply. So ang requirement lang man sa accreditation pud na mo kanang ma-justify kay di ba taas-taas na mong level sa public ad o sa agri-econ nga program mag level 4 that's the highest level. So ang ilag yung gi-require kanang kanabitang makit-an gyud ang impact sa program not necessarily sa tibuok barangay or sa tibuok community but even na alang kay mga 20 farmer adapters nga makit-an gyud sa kasi aside sa mag-report kami may data, may numbers, ang accreditors they will really visit the area. So kinahanglan makit-an gyud nila nga katong nasa papel ano po siya ma-validate sa actual situation na makita nila sa field. So kahit ano lang, kahit half of the supposedly beneficiaries na nakatanggap sana, okay lang sa kanila kay na ano magud siya kanang parang ano na siya ba accepted na or given na wala ko sa accounting na maging allowance for bad debts. So sa mga programs po na po allowance for non-compliance kasi hindi naman din natin sila mapilit. Bawal di man ni mo i-hold ang tao good. For example, na mention ka ganina katong migration, syempre that's against human rights kung kanang naakay contract dito nga bawal ka mo transfer so hindi man pwedeng ganyan. And bawal din na yung nasa comparison group, ingnon gini mo sila nga bawal kang mag-receive ng programa sa ibang ahensya o ibang organization, bawal din yun because definitely that's against human rights. So kita gid na evaluators ang mo-adjust. So what I'm trying to point out is that maski kuan good gamay lang or isa ka community or pila ba ka pamilya basta na-impact ba? Kasi ana man gid no ang poverty alleviation siguro di man ta mag-expect for example na the whole region 11 all those in poverty ma-alleviate maski ano lang no sa certain community of farmers for example ang mahalaga na evaluate siya ng tama na ano yung mga biases no ma-eliminate ang mga biases as much as possible. And not naman eliminate but kaya nga sa statistics meron tayong p-value. So at 5%, significant at 5%, 10%. So sa social sciences, kasama tayo doon, okay naman sa atin ang 10% margin of error, 90% confidence level. So ang 0.10 na p-value sa ato significant pa na. Sa medicine, yun na 0.01 or 0.00 no allowance, not naman no allowance but siguro ganang 0.01 allowance for error kay syempre medicine man siya mamatay. And then yun. So mataas naman na ang ating allowance for margin of error rather 10% naman sa social science. So, I mean, di gid na ma-eliminate ang bias. That's why sa statistics, nagit tayo margin of error. 90% confidence level for social sciences. Acceptable na siya. Anything more? Hello? Andyan pa ba kayo?
Yes, Doc.
Yes, no.
So, meron pa ba tayong ibang it's already 11:57 no? So, yung apat na natira, actually next topic naman po, yung part 3. So, i-target natin siguro na 2 presenter per meeting. Ilang meeting ba tayo sa November 3 pa naman? So, that December, syempre may exam pa tayo pero sa naman yun, 3rd week. Para the whole of December, makafocus na kayo sa proposal. So, wala na ba tayong mga concerns or
Doc, by the way po,
yes, go ahead, Emily.
yung PowerPoint presentation na ginamit ko kanina, Doc, may mga changes, maraming changes yon compare sa gin-send ko last time. So, paano po ba yun ma-update? Gusto ko sanang i-change yung gin-submit ko.
Sige, mag-create na lang ako ng panibagong submission window for updated presentations para i-upload nyo sa kuan. Sige, mag-create ako. So,
Okay,
upload
Doc.
nyo na.
Doc.
So, again, no, for next Saturday, mag-prepare ako ng exercise for you to asynchronously work on. So, i-open ko na siya by tomorrow para anytime you're free, pwede nyo nang So, sige, mag-create ako dito ng submission window. Anything more? Hello, everyone. So, wala na kayong concern. So, shall we have our lunch? But before that, pwede magbukas muna tayo ng camera.
Kung napabatatanan. Sir Tan.
Okay. Enjoy your holidays. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Doc. Bye, classmates.
Bye, classmates.